Hello everyone, and welcome to Deceptions of the Ages News. This is the first time I have ever done a car little video, so I'm just going to run through it because I'm kind of pressed for time, but things are happening now so quickly that I really would like to get this video posted and give you some information about the LDS Church that I seem to have run across and that you should probably be aware of. Now, let me say first of all that I started this channel during the first Trump administration because I wanted to support the president and I wanted to, get out good information. But after the election was stolen and I saw what was happening and the government was weaponized against us, what was the point? And now that President Trump, is back in office, things supposedly on the surface look a lot better, but as time is rolling on, things are not exactly what they seem. And for one example, I just want to point out that 7 months into the president's administration, zero people have been brought to justice for the crimes they committed and the weaponized government. And all you have now is you have perpetual same crap. But they don't say that, well, and actually some are starting to say that, like I watched Jim Jordan yesterday say, oh, well, we're really not going to do anything about it, but we're going to make them feel bad. And we're going to make the American people aware of what's going on. To what end? So they can steal another election and that's the end of it. But that's not what this video is about. So I want to get right down to the subject matter because I don't want to take too much of your time. I want to talk about Charlie Kirk and I want to talk about what happened when I went to church. Now, I am a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saint, born in Utah and raised in Washington, but I've, been a member of the church all my life. I am, not really into the church as much as some people are. Never went on a mission. I'm not rich. I don't fit the all, punch card Mormon stereotype. But I am a member of the church, and I just want to fill you in. Since Charlie Kirk was assassinated, more and more things have started to make sense to me. Now, I'll tell you, I go to church in a town called Redmond, Washington. If you've never heard of Redmond, Washington, well, this is where Microsoft is. Microsoft, the computer company, right? So all the people that I go to church with basically work for Microsoft. So I've always wondered, in the time that I have been going to this church, in which nobody has ever said word one to me, except when I was running for Congress, and I told people I was running for Congress, I was told by the bishop, look, you can't talk in the church. Don't talk in the church. Okay, well, I was running for Congress to help out people because they're going to be going after Christians soon. So that I was trying to give people hope. But then they said, don't talk in the church. Don't. So I really, what would you do if somebody told you that, right? You're trying to help people, you're running for Congress, and, you're putting your money, your life, your future at stake, and all they can do is say that and give you no support, no help, nothing whatsoever, except don't talk in church. Okay, well, so there's that. So that was really unusual to me. Now, when Charlie Kirk, well, other than the fact that nobody seems to ever pray for Donald Trump. Nobody ever seems to pray, for our government now that Trump is in it. In fact, nobody talks about anything about the government and church. All right, so let me flash back to about the same time I was running for Congress and was told don't speak in the church. I saw one of the kids in the church that goes to the high school in one of the most fascist school districts in Washington State, where they are promoting your, all this curriculum, all this racism, all this transgender stuff. I saw a kid in church wearing a dress, like he was like a senior or junior in high school, wearing a dress in church. And I thought, oh my gosh, what, but anyway, to each his own. Okay, wear a dress in church. I don't care. I'm not here for these people. I'm here because I believe in Jesus, right? I believe in the teachings of Jesus, love one another, try to help each other out, that kind of thing, right? So what? So let this guy be a little tranny, whatever he wants to be. I don't care. I don't judge. I'm not a perfect person, right? Then Charlie Kirk gets killed. And this is, not the, we don't like you because you're not rich, and, the basically, cold shoulder treatment that I get. But when I went to church one day after Charlie Kirk was shot, not one person in the whole service said anything about Charlie Kirk. This is church, right? He was a Christian. He was in Utah, right? He's in the place where the LDS Church had to go because they assassinated Joseph Smith in much the same way they assassinated Charlie Kirk. So wouldn't you think that the Latter-day Saint Church would be really all about defending Charlie, saying what a horrible thing this was? This is not what we believe. But this is not what they're saying, right? So why is that? Well, if you look at the situation, you have basically a spoiled kid and his spoiled gay, whatever he is, tranny buddy. They are spoiled kids. They're spoiled kids grown up in the church and protected and mollycoddled and never had to think of anything in their life. And somehow these kids decided that in a church that is based on the teachings of Jesus and purports to be the church of Jesus himself, somehow that church hatched a couple of monsters and a whole tribe of monsters that want to go around killing people. So where does that come from in a church where Jesus was killed, the leader of the church was assassinated, and now these people want to go around assassinating people? Well, remember I said that kid in the dress, right? Isn't that kind of odd, but didn't say anything about it, but nobody even batted an eye. Okay, so then let's look at this Governor Cox. Well, Governor Cox apparently is big into the tranny movement, into the pharmaceutical movement. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Did I say pharmaceutical movement? Because the entire tranny thing, the entire tranny I'm in the wrong sex thing is pushed by Big Pharma. The same people that brought you the vaccine that's killing all these people, and the this tranny stuff. So you've got to transition if you don't feel good in your body. Okay, well, what does that have to do with the LDS Church? The head of the LDS Church, the prophet, is a surgeon. He is big time into the medical field, and so are much of the leadership of the church, and much of the church is invested in what? That's right, pharmaceutical stocks. And what are they promoting in Salt Lake and in this queer tranny, we're going to kill everybody movement, right? This is all coming out of Salt Lake City. This is all coming out of the center of the Latter-day Saint Church, right? Or the Mormon Church, if you haven't got that yet. This is all coming out of the center of the church. These people are making a killing off killing these kids and promoting these kids to go kill other people that are carried out by these people. Why would this Governor Cox come out and try to isolate this one kid when it's obviously a network of people? He told people it was just one guy. He was adamant it's one guy, and there was no investigation even done. And then you got Kash Patel saying there's 20 people at least. So what's going on in the Mormon Church? I don't know what to say. Charlie Kirk was killed. He was killed by Mormons in Utah, and they were in the middle of a clique of Mormons and these trannies that want to go around killing everybody. So if Mormons are getting rich, like this Cox guy and other people in the church, if they're getting rich from their big pharma stocks and they're pushing the vaccine on people, they push the vaccine big time during the so-called during the China virus. They push the vaccine big time. Why? Because of their stocks. But then all these people are dying now, and you hear them talk in the church about, oh, my friend just died. My friend just up and died, right? And this is a very common thing in the church now, because you got a big group of people, and they know a lot of people themselves, and they're all saying that, oh, I know somebody that's died. So that's what I just want to tell you, that the big pharma, the vaccine, the Microsoft, it's all interconnected. And when you see people in Utah and they're trying to isolate this guy, all you're looking at is a bunch of rich, or Mormons that have spoiled kids that are saying, we're going to isolate this around one guy so that nobody knows we're raising a bunch of spoiled kids that we want to transition to be gay so that our stock price goes up. And they're going to kill anybody that doesn't like their idealism and that doesn't like what they're doing to their bodies and objects to having it done to themselves. So that is Deceptions of the Ages news. And it's been a long time, I know, but I'll keep posting on here regularly as things develop. I just want you to know that I have another channel now, Encounters USA, which I transitioned to, and that is about aliens, Bigfoot, and Dogman. If you're into that kind of thing, and we're watching the asteroids coming in, or the comets coming in, and we're watching AI Atlas coming in. So things are, and we remote viewed it, and all kinds of neat things are happening. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you if you have stuck with me over the years. And let's keep making America great again. Let's support President Trump. And we'll see you next time.